NBA DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook preview show. We are recording here. It is Christmas Day night. We got the Thursday slate day after Christmas. 7 games on tap for everybody here. Hope you all had a great Christmas watching the NBA, watching the NFL. NBA had a tough day, right? Luka Doncic down with an injury that expected to potentially cost him multiple weeks. Kristaps Porzingis injures an ankle, doesn't play the second half of that game. Anthony Davis injured 7 minutes in to the Lakers game. Drew Holiday didn't play at all on this slate. So
I have a different opinion. I think it's been a great day for the NBA.
You think it's been a great day for the NBA because
it's been amazing. Basketball has been great all day.
The basketball games have been good.
They had a coming out party for the guy that they need to be the face of the league, scoring 42 in the opening game.
MB, yep, cover for your playbook.
They had a almost 30-point comeback in game number 2 without the star player on the other team. And then the star player on the other team said, nope, fake comeback. We're going to close you out. And then a villain, the number one enemy of the best team in the NBA, is not part of the big three and was once again the hero and the villain for Boston. PTSD, which I think made it great that you guys had PTSD all over again. Seeing Caleb Martin
7-3
rain threes in the Garden once again. So I think it's been all in all, and obviously you get LeBron and Steph in prime time, and you close it out with the Joker wearing a Joker sweatshirt into the stadium. I think injuries happened, yes, but I think it's been a great day for the NBA.
Injuries happened, but it was more so the big names, obviously, in the injuries that occurred. So we'll see how it obviously impacts slates and teams moving forward. I know as soon as I saw that Luka Doncic injury update, I went and snagged Spencer Dinwiddie in our fantasy league because he was just out there chilling in free agency. So quick on the trigger there. We'll see what happens with that pickup for John's seasonal fantasy basketball team. But we're here to talk some DFS. We got 7 games, as we mentioned, starting at 7 o'clock, going up until the 8 p.m. hour. So 7 games jammed, packed, some good matchups to target here. Top overall price players. We have Giannis looking like he's going to play. Dame Lillard also looking like he might be back. Both of those guys are upgraded to questionable for this slate against Brooklyn. We got SGA at 10-3, and then LaMelo Ball. You're only 3 guys up over $10,000. SGA has the Indiana Pacers at 10-3. Ball has the Wizards at 10K. Dame at 93. Trey 92. Barnes 91. Your top 5 price point guards here, James. LaMelo is going to be pretty difficult not to get to here, right?
Yeah. I think that you can go a variety of ways. I think everyone of 9K pricing or above is like super appealing. LaMelo obviously, is what he is right now. Didn't have to play a whole lot. Like that Houston score was not indicative of that game. It was like a 40-point game, right? Where LaMelo only played 30 minutes because the whole comeback was created, not comeback, but like closer score was created by a bench, not by any of the starters. So he still scored 45 minutes and 30 minutes. He smashed.
And that Wizards matchup that she has today, was 2 games prior. He had 32 shot attempts and 10 free throws and had 69 fantasy points. Nice there. So, looking for it to fire right back.
Yeah. My only thing is like, I don't know if SGA. So it was a topic of conversation in the Washington game. They switched his rotation pattern, John. SGA is usually the whole first quarter guy. And then he was early sub and they let Jalen Williams play longer.
Sure.
And then he came in and just dominated end of first and like the entire second quarter. And he basically paced for 38 minutes based on this like new rotational thing that they had him. And like, not that SGA doesn't play a lot.
He played 35 minutes in that game still.
Yeah. Right. I just like, if we're getting SGA like second unit type scenarios where he's now facing like all this second unit in end of first and into second quarter. Like,
Sure.
I don't know. 10-3 is just too cheap. So I think him and LaMelo are very even for me. Maybe just LaMelo gets a slight edge because the price and the matchup is a little better.
The last 2 point guards the Wizards faced were LaMelo and SGA, and they gave up 69 and 68 fantasy points to them. So
yeah, that's fair. They're
also unfortunate for them that they had to go LaMelo, SGA, LaMelo in 3 games.
That would be hilarious. It would be hilarious if OKC was the next matchup too.
I don't know what Wizards have left on their schedule, but probably not great. Again, we have Dame potentially returning here. I don't really love the matchup against Brooklyn for him at 93, especially when you have Trey. The Chicago matchup has been something we've targeted all season long. He's averaging 48 fantasy points in 2 games against the Bulls this season. He had 55, 25, and 13 against them on 11-22. So showing that ceiling. Obviously, he's had a couple of 60 fantasy point games of late. He, too, is questionable with a heel contusion, but assuming he is good to go, would you rather Trey or Lillard at their pricing?
Trey, but I'm good with both. Brooklyn is still bad defensively. They rank 26th overall, so I'd probably get to both, but I lean Trey.
Okay. Barnes versus Memphis. We've talked a lot about Memphis just kind of
blowing everybody out.
A lot of teams out here. Barnes did get back 24, 8, and 3. But 40 fantasy points at $9,100 is not what we're really looking for. We need 45 and higher. And really, if we're playing him in these spots, we need to be getting closer to 50 probably out of him here. So not for me yet. Barnes's price tag is coming down, so maybe really there's a chance for it to come back around. Again, RJ is there too. We're not going to pay that. You do have Ja at 85, DeJounte 84, Halliburton back down to $8,200. That price keeps kind of sitting in the low 8K range for him.
Yeah, I'm a little interested in Scotty only because if that game does stay close, the pace up nature to it is crazy. Yeah. Memphis now number 1 in pace in the NBA. So like if there was a scenario where Toronto keeps it competitive, well then, Scotty's obviously the number 1 reason. The rebounds and the assists have kind of like fluctuated, and earlier in the year when we were getting those big Scotty games, we were getting both and still no Jakob Poeltl. So I do think that like we could get a nice balance of both peripheral stats here.
I got pretty low rostered Scotty Barnes.
Very low rostered. Yeah. And like, I don't blame anyone for not playing him. Ja, not 29 minutes. The 29 minutes, I know he like briefly left that game. A lot of turnovers. 8,500 is such a good price, dude.
Yeah,
it is
he
such a good price.
Dominate that price point. But again, they've had a lot of blowouts, so
they have.
There's some risk there, but that's a super cheap price point for him.
DeJounte is again another situation, kind of like Scotty, where he has a massive ceiling. You just need the game to stay close, and Houston is super good defensively. So if it can stay close, he could go for a big crooked number. I think Trey Murphy is questionable as well, so New Orleans could be a little shorthanded, and Murray needs to show
3 weeks away from maybe seeing Zion on the floor.
Yeah, Zion back at practice. There's a lot going in the favor of New Orleans a little bit, especially increasing that trade stock for everybody.
Understanding it's a tough matchup for Halliburton against the Thunder. Thunder, really good defensive team. But he is coming off of a double-double, 47 fantasy points. You and I will just continue to maintain that there's going to be spots where he is $8,200 and you're just going to have to play him in the right matchup. I'm not suggesting this is it, but like it's in his bag to go and put up, big numbers. So, home, off a little bit of a layoff there with the holidays, like could certainly be a Halliburton. And we talked about earlier, like the home road splits there for Halliburton were favoring him early in the season at home. Tyler Hero, Jalen Suggs, Jordan Poole, CJ McCollum are your 7K range. Hero again. Is Butler already out or
he's
doubtful?
He's questionable. He's questionable to be traded.
Actually, questionably traded, doubtful to play. So
questionable. Yeah, the reporting. leave it up to Jimmy Butler to get it leaked on Christmas that
he wants to be traded before the deadline. So we'll see how quickly those things materialize there. But again, does give you hero. Orlando hasn't always been the greatest of spots. He only had 36 fantasy points against them in a loss back a couple of games ago. So I'm not sure where you sit kind of with this 7K range. I didn't necessarily love any of it. Jordan Poole, is a guy I haven't played a lot of this year. I think actually were in on Jordan Poole in that Charlotte matchup, I think. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to pay it. And because was he chalky that day? And I just wanted nothing to do with it, but he's been money. So I guess we got to be a believer. We got to jump into the pool here with Jordan.
I think he has a new, he has a new celebration where he's jumping into the pool. It needs work. I'll just say I feel like I was a year early with Jordan Poole on the Washington experience because he was so bad last year, and I was so in on the fit. Dude, independent of how bad Washington has been, it's not because of this dude. Nope. He's playing really well offensively. I still think $7,700 is too cheap. I think the minutes are what sticks out the most.
Yeah. And the threes.
Yeah, right? It's the minutes and the threes. But we knew the threes were going to be there, but the minutes weren't earlier in the year. And now we're just getting in every game. Washington's been more competitive and he's playing max minutes and he's making a lot of shots. So there's no Kuzma, right? As long as there's no Kuzma, he's going to continuously shoulder the primary load offensively.
This is the thing that is sparking his career year, right? I'm going to read off these numbers for you. 27.9%, 35.1, 36.4, 33.6, 32.6, and 41.2. Those are his 3-point percentages over his career, rather. Last year, he shot 32.6% from three. He's shooting 41.2, a career best from three this season. So,
and probably the most, and it's probably the most per game, right? Is it most volume?
Attempts wise?
Yeah, attempts wise.
He is always 7.6, 7.8, 7.2 last year, 8.4. So
crazy.
A full 1.5, basically threes more attempted per game, hitting at a career best rate. All kind of leading to what we're getting out of him. Obviously, again, a couple of years ago with Golden State, he was pretty legit for them, average over 20 points per game. So we're getting that, but still good spot here for Poole. Where are you with Suggs at $7,800 against Miami? Again, it's kind of his show right now.
I am that his head coach should win Coach of the Year. I'm gonna beat that drum. Bro, 28-point comeback against Miami, followed it by a win against the Celtics without your two best players. No, I mean, Suggs he's good. He's not great at this price. He's good. He has a massive ceiling. We saw it in the in-season tournament against the Bucks. He also is, not as consistent offensively as you would like for a $7,800 player.
If Trae Young is ruled out,
yeah,
our man here, Great Barrier Thief, had 10 stocks against Minnesota, 8 steals and 2 blocks. After he had 7 stocks against Memphis, 6 steals and a block. I mean, the upside for him, if there's no Trae, is great. Obviously, he's always capable of just doing this even when Trae is on the floor. But I mean, dude, these are ridiculous defensive numbers that he's putting up. And now it's got Chicago matchup here against Chicago. 28 fantasy points in that one, 42 in this one with 6 steals. Part of that crazy stretch where he had 6, 6, and 7. So always capable of kind of just popping off.
Dude, isn't it funny? Could it be true of Daniels where streaky shooters go on crazy runs with made shots, and Dyson Daniels is a crazy streaky stocks guy where he just pulls off 6, 7, 8 in 5-game windows every game. It's crazy, dude.
It's kind of sick because if he told somebody, hey, this guy had 10 combined blocks and steals, you're like, oh man, what do you have, 70 fantasy points? He only had 40.
I know. And 40 is good.
Yep.
But you're right. You're right.
7x the price, right? So
You're 100%, like, you're just correct. Like, he should have 50. He should have 50 plus in every scenario. But
right.
if
So
there's
he
no
doesn't
Trae
score
Young,
enough, right? So
yeah, he just doesn't. If there's no Trae Young, you definitely look at Daniels.
Yep. So the rest of this tier, you have all the Chicago guys here. Giddey is questionable. Io also questionable for this slate as well. So we'll see kind of what happens with the Chicago plays. Ben Simmons questionable. Or should we be
Brooklyn's
surprised?
Should
we be surprised that they played him and pushed him all these minutes and now he's got back soreness?
I also think, if I remember correctly, this is a back-to-back for Brooklyn. Thursday, Friday. So he's gonna sit. He's gonna sit one of the games,
and then Brooklyn will really have nobody to play.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Obviously, there you have more Washington. Brogdon, 26 minutes, working his way to being traded. Showing that he's still healthy and able to do that. Let's see. Nembhard's been really good. A 5,100, not a great spot for Nembhard, but he's there. What else would you be looking at point guard?
I would not really enjoy anything other. I mean, Van Vliet 69, just to circle back, he's fine. Really good matchup against the Pelicans. If there's obviously no Damian Lillard, we'd probably go back to Rollins.
Sure.
It's a little uncomfortable because the minutes were just not there. And the price is obviously different.
Yeah.
So
$1,000 more.
Yeah. Maybe I kind of take that back. We got the Jordan Hawkins game the other day. I guess we'll see what New Orleans does with the rotations. If there's no Trey Murphy, there's probably no reason we don't see 30 plus minutes out of Jordan Hawkins again. So if no Murphy, I'd be willing to go there. And then whatever happens with Brooklyn, if there's not availability, Keon's 4K, Shake Milton's 38, you'd probably just play Shake Milton if there's no Ben Simmons.
We got 24 minutes out of Alec Burks.
I hate when you do this. You can't help yourself. You do it to troll me now. I'm just kidding. I know.
I'm not doing it to troll you. It's because Drew Smith tore his Achilles.
He did. He's done for such a long time.
So if those minutes, and we can probably add more funds to this or popcorn machine this, and
I got it up.
You got it up. Was that the direct relation to the Alec Burks minutes? Was Drew Smith's injury? Or was Alec Burks just playing basketball for no reason in this game?
Alec, this is a Miami Heat thing. Alec Burks was on the floor with Drew Smith when Drew Smith got injured.
Well, Drew Smith being injured certainly opens up some minutes.
Burks was closing. So, in this game, he subbed out for the final minute 30, but he was closing. He was on the floor with Hero, Bam, Burks, Jovic, because we saw the game Jovic had.
That game,
and Haywood Highsmith. That was the five.
They started Jaquez, right? Jaquez played 25 minutes.
And 23, he garbage time too. Yeah. So didn't even get there in terms of minutes.
Right. So I'm just saying, obviously Pelle Larsson came back as well, played a lot of minutes in that game. Somebody's playing minutes. I also texted you after that game, they dusted off Kelly Ware. Again, back-to-back games for him.
First round pick. Round pick.
Yeah, it was a 15th overall or something.
Right in the middle of the first round.
So again, something to sort of watch with Miami, but $3,200 Alec Burks. One thing we know about Alec Burks is if he's going to get minutes, he can be a bucket at times. So,
he sure can.
Will you, if you want to take that chance, obviously that's on you guys, but I just wanted to at least shed some light on the Miami situation, knowing that there's no buckets and no Drew Smith now there. So, all right, shooting guard, Brandon Miller is questionable. Would that impact your thoughts on LaMelo at all if Miller was to be active here?
No, I think, do I think LaMelo might take 27 shots instead of 32? Yeah, but I'm still good with 27.
I got Zach LaVine down to $7,100 here. I know the last couple of games haven't been great, but feels a little low
for sure.
And he probably gets, I guess, the Daniels defense there, so there's that downgrade to him. Bane is in this range. Then we've talked, obviously, Murphy questionable. Middleton is really good. Again, the other day, 41 and 36 fantasy points last games, 24 and 23 minutes. Now, granted, again, no Lillard, no Giannis in either of those matchups, but Bobby Portis went for 70 in one of those. So it's not like they didn't have like other guys being productive around him. He was just legit. Do we ever see, soon? Do we see the minutes increase? I imagine it would be reported, but
have to assume that we get a bump, but also if they keep winning, they can just manage. They can just manage him.
He's at a price where I have a hard time paying $6,500 for a guy playing 23 minutes.
Yes.
And that's where, but obviously has paid that off the last two slates. So
we're getting to we're closing in on when Anthony Davis was a Pelican.
Yeah.
And he was just playing 20 minutes a night and he was like $7,000. And I remember you were like, would you play him? I was like, no. And he'd go for like 50 and you're like, okay, would you play him tonight? And I'd be like, no. And he'd go for like 50 again. And I'd be like, would you play him? I'd be like, no. But I do acknowledge he's gone for 50 in back-to-back games. Yeah. Like, you're right. I acknowledge that Chris Middleton has been really good. But his price is going up fast.
Yes.
Like Chris Middleton, full strength, is $7,000 plus when he's playing 30 minutes. And I'm not like but he's not as of now. He's playing.
And he's about to be third in the rotation with Lillard and Giannis back.
Dude, so. and like we have no idea when that bump is coming. Like we can speculate all we want, but
we hope Doc tells us the truth, but Doc hasn't said anything truthful in years.
No. And like we thought it would be last game. It wasn't. We thought it would be like, it just hasn't happened. So it's just hard to like sit here and say, I assume he's going to play 29.
Bad game from Jalen Green there in Charlotte.
Yeah. Thanks.
It was not a good
You're
day.
getting me back for Caleb Martin. This is what I get for running out Caleb Martin.
You gotta wonder if he's losing his rotation spot to Cam Whitmore. Anyways, Kobe White's there. Amen. Obviously, 6K was huge. We all knew that though. Once Dylan Brooks got ruled out, Amen Thompson was going to be the dude, and he was. Again, I assume Dylan Brooks is back here, so that rotation just goes back to what it is. No, it's Tari.
He's out. He's out.
Wait, Dylan Brooks is already out.
He's already out.
Oh, I knew Tari Eason was. They ruled Dylan Brooks out already, huh?
Yeah, Dylan Brooks is out.
All right, well then.
Yeah, I mean all those guys.
all those guys.
Yeah.
That's good.
Houston is the best. Again, they're just going to be the best team on the board again. They're all too cheap. I mean, you look at Van Vliet 69, no Brooks, no Eason. That's two of or Eason's questionable. Brooks is out. That's what it is.
Dude, was that like a late? I mean, it's been Christmas. Honestly, I haven't paid attention. Obviously, as close as I guess I should have there.
Well, Brooks is out. Eason questionable.
Okay.
If Eason plays, it's still Thompson starting, and it's still your dilemma with Eason would be the Whitmore minutes. That would take, I think, some hit if Eason plays.
Okay, so Brooks got ruled out at 7 p.m. tonight. Yeah, I was not paying attention to that. So,
like, if there's no Eason and no Brooks, obviously you can go back to Whitmore.
Cam Whitmore had a 30.6% usage rate the other night.
I mean, yeah, that is like death taxes. If Cam Whitmore's playing, he's playing a lot of minutes and he's
definitely
taking a lot of shots.
Mentioning that he closed that entire fourth quarter. Didn't have basically subbed out middle of second, didn't play again till the end of the third, and then played the entire fourth. If that was at all a competitive game, he probably gets subbed out there and isn't playing 27 minutes, but
20.
Yeah,
based on like 10 first half, he had 10 first half minutes, so he probably gets somewhere around 20 minutes.
Yeah. But he was obviously, as we expected to be, he was really good in that game.
Yeah, he was.
He was over 20 fantasy points by halftime, so we didn't really need the minutes at 3K to get there.
No.
All right. So revelation there. Amen Thompson locked in, super chalk, most likely there.
Yeah.
What's the next play?
Kind
of scrolling down. Duncan Robinson. I know you hate that I mentioned him.
I mean, we honestly though, like you mentioned the Burks thing, and you mentioned like Duncan. We might have to consider them. No Drew Smith, no Josh Richardson, Terry Rozier questionable, Jimmy Butler doubtful.
Right.
We might just get Duncan. Now, he played 25 minutes and didn't sniff the floor in the fourth quarter, which is interesting, right? Like he just played 3 quarters, 25
played
minutes.
Alec Burks over him, right?
They played Alec Burks over him. So if I'd be okay going to Duncan, especially if Rozier's out, $4,300. It's not obviously like a great spot, but I'd be okay with the price and stuff.
What a weird rotation.
Dude, it's Miami. I tell you this every
did to Jaime Jaquez in that game, dude. Jaime Jaquez started first quarter, played like 9 minutes, 8 minutes and 30 seconds in the first. Subs back into the second, plays 8 minutes, plays the third quarter, 6 minutes, doesn't check back into the game until the final minute 30. The man played all of his minutes in 3 quarters.
So did this guy, and so did Duncan.
Yeah. They played Khalil Ware, and correct me on his name. Obviously, I'm saying it wrong. So
you're close.
Close. I'm sure I was close. Pell Larson played a lot of minutes in the fourth quarter.
Dude, it's just
Jovic played almost the entire fourth quarter. Actually, Jovic checked in 6 minutes ago in the third, and then basically played the rest of the game. Was really good. He earned it. Scored 18.
He was really good.
And sometimes that certainly has a factor. But like Alec Burks did the same thing. Basically checked into the third quarter, never sat again. Tyler Hero checked in at the end of the third, never sat again. So wild. Bam played 4 minutes in the fourth quarter of that game. Just if you're cheering on Bam in that game, and Bam was good. Played 4 minutes.
Cheering on Bam. That's hilarious.
Anyways,
it's so funny.
Yes, to your point, yes, Miami rotation frustrating, but Duncan at 25 minutes of Duncan at 4,300 it's fine, right?
Agreed. And if there's no Rozier too, I mean, he's gonna play. If he's gonna play a lot of,
knows what they're gonna do.
Yeah, dude. Then all bets are off. Hero and Bam are just coming off the bench. Like Spo's gonna like manage their minutes.
Give me an honest ownership.
Oh man,
$3,600. He's probably gonna start again.
So they went Queen over Wendell Carter. What do you think the minutes look like though? If Goga got thrown out of that game,
he did. He got ejected. He was waving to Porzingis, thinking that Porzingis got ejected, and I got the rude message that it was him that got ejected.
Dude, I watched it happen. I couldn't believe it. Either of them would have got.
Well, it was a tough night for NBA refs that day. Embiid just sinking our lineups immediately.
Yeah. And Drummond, did you see the whole Drummond debacle?
Yeah, then they let him back in the game because they realized that they messed up.
And they got hurt. The ref was mouthing my bad.
Yeah.
I effed up my bad. Shouldn't have thrown him out.
Yeah, Wemby just tripped over his own feet and thought that Drummond shoved him to the floor. Because that was the obvious assumption there.
I guess
but he was playing like
he was playing full.
Goga didn't get ejected till the fourth quarter of that game.
Yeah, I know. I mean, look, if they're gonna start Javelin Queen and play him a lot of minutes, then yeah, he's owner. The question was, what do I think his ownership is? I don't know, decently high.
What did Traveling Queen? I mean, he played 17 straight minutes in their loss to or their win over
Miami. Yeah.
Closed that game out and then earned himself a start. Boston in a game they win, and he scores 17.
And he's great, and he's like really good. He spaces the floor, and he has 4 stocks again, so he's doing it both ends. I would say, let's get the Gary Harris news.
Okay.
Gary Harris questionable. We know, as much as we don't want it to be the case, we know Gary Harris is playing if he's active.
NBA coaches love Gary Harris. I don't know. He's never been. It's been a 10th man basically his entire career.
3-and-D, 15 minutes. We know it's happening. So I will say TBD until we know more on Gary Harris.
All right. I don't think there's anything else down here, right?
Jacoby Walters minutes are still okay. Garrison Matthews had the game of his
Yes,
life.
7 threes for Garrison Matthews in that game.
But I don't think that there's
okay. Small forward. Again, Scotty and RJ are both here. Miller, Butler's doubtful. Cam Johnson's 74. A lot of these guys we've kind of touched upon already. Is there anybody down here that Hunter, 61? It's not like the first guy. Koulibaly, if he's in.
Koulibaly and Murphy, both probably would be the two. Murphy's been great. Koulibaly's been great. So those two, like, just would be the first two. But you could also play Amen Thompson here and just move on, right? Like, you play Amen, you could play Herb. You could just play those two and just, like, move on with your day and just, like, have a safe, reliable two guys in your lineup and just.
I guess if Bogey is out, you'd have to give you wouldn't play Garrison Matthews, but the minutes for Garrison Matthews were there because Bogey was out of that game.
Yeah.
So, they started, or the other day they started Vic Krejci, and they're like, "What happened to that thing?"
Yep.
De Silva minutes have been good.
Been great. First round pick. Another first round pick that's been really good for them.
Yep. Jaquez, would you trust it if he starts?
Oh man, I want to at 4,100, but
it's not really a great matchup for Miami going against Orlando. But
no, it's not. Of course, they're the team with like potentially the most value, and it's the worst spot.
Then our boy up to $4,000 now.
Yeah, you would have at 4,000, you would probably have to have Tari sit out.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you there. Anybody else a small forward?
No, Ricochet's fallen off its cliff.
Sure. Power forward. Giannis against Brooklyn's 11-3. Can always play Giannis if you want. 9K, Jalen Johnson against Chicago. No one ever plays this man till they do, but he's been the assists have been great. The steals are there. The rebounds are there. Yeah. I guess I wish he shot a little bit more. I wish he shot a little more.
If Trey sits
12, 14.
I don't disagree that the shot volume could be higher. But if Trey sits, I'm just going to continuously call for triple doubles until he inevitably gives us one.
Triple J is here, $7,200. And you can always go to him if you want. He took 26 shots in that game against the Clippers.
Dude, he shoots a lot.
Yeah. Didn't make it.
No, he didn't. But he also is having a great year shooting. I mean, he's shooting 50% from the floor. So yeah, I have no issues going there. I also have no issues as Jalen Williams' price is coming down. They're back down to 8K.
Yeah, 8K is a good price tag. He's still not paying it off.
Wasn't great last game. Was great. We've talked about it, right? Shot making show. Made a lot of shots the game before. Breaks a slate. So good spot against Indiana. 2 top 10 teams in pace, and that should be fun.
Miles Bridges, $6,800. Again, could get Brandon Miller back, but Bridges was obviously pretty good last game out against Houston there. I always just kind of tout DeAndre Hunter, 19 actual. If he gives you anything else, he's popping off. Otherwise, he's just scoring. Only 28 minutes in that game against Minnesota. Played just 24 against Memphis. Hit 26 actual in 24 minutes. So he's been a legit bucket for them. Jabari, another good minutes game for Jabari. It was a great matchup for him at 39 fantasy points there.
He's just super safe, dude. There's no Dylan Brooks. The minutes are so... I mean, you think about it, right? As soon as one guy is out for Houston, it basically solidifies the rest of the rotation because they don't play anybody. They just play short rotations. So one guy is out in this situation. That's all we need. I'm in on Jabari.
I need Alexander Sarr back, right? This was the spot that I touted him heavily. Said play him. He was 3%. Nobody played him. He went for 43 fantasy points. I would love to see Alexander Sarr active for this game because the price is the same. It's $5,400. This guy is too cheap for what he's capable of doing in these specific matchups, right? Just like bad defense on Charlotte center position. Like Sarr could have himself a field day here.
Yeah, so, and just help us. We don't want to just play Jonas every slate at not knowing how many minutes he's going to play. And he's going to smash when he plays, but we could play 7. He could play 17 minutes in a start tomorrow. We wouldn't know.
Yeah, so needs are active, so we can start at center, and we'll be having us always a good time there. Larry Nance is up to $5,000. Still continues to be productive. Only played 21 minutes against Minnesota. It wasn't active shooting, only 4 shots, but he did everything else again. 5 stocks,
Yep.
4 rebounds, 2 assists, 25 fantasy points in 5Ks is 5x. So that's kind of where we're at. We've seen him go for 48 and 32, which is 9 and 6x there. So
Yep.
are you in on Larry Nance still?
I'm okay with it. I mean, they had to raise his price here.
Yeah,
because he's been 5x or better every slate. So I agree with the pricing. I think it's fair pricing. I don't think there's like an edge like we've had.
We probably got a floor minutes for him too. 21 minutes, probably the lowest we'll see without a Conqua out.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see 31 like we did against San Antonio, but he also earned those minutes in that game. Like
I don't either. Yeah, I don't think we'll.
But if we settle in around 24, 25 minutes a night out of him, like kind of what Gonku was playing, like
just full split with Capella. Yeah.
There's some nice upside at 5K.
I'm shocked you skipped over Aldama. Truthfully, John, he played 31 minutes the other day.
I know.
No Marcus Smart again. I think that Aldama is benefiting a lot from the Smart stuff coming off the bench.
Well, we were in on Aldama until Bane was active, and it kind of threw us off him, and he still was good. So you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And the price, dude, the price is going down. Have they not been paying attention that Santi Aldama just went for 54 and 33 in 2 of the last 3?
I'm upset because I took him out of my lineup because the Bane news.
And I'm just saying, like, I do think no J Huff, so like you're getting
big rotation,
and then no Smart. So there's 2 spots that just give minutes to guys, and Santi's playing those minutes. So, actually, I heard the broadcast. It's Santi, yeah, Santi Aldama.
We our guy Justin Fensterman here to help.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Shout out
Fensterman, much love.
The enunciating god. Yeah, I think Aldama 51, and then next name I was gonna ask you was Noah Clowney, who continues.
Yeah, I called out. They started him next to Claxton.
You did
the other day, and we kind of talked about it. Like shooting a lot of threes, wasn't really making a lot of shots, but dude, did them 37, 29, 30 minutes, and they're gonna start him. Like, sure. Now
and this team
is expected back, so like that's his draw on this one.
Yeah, I guess the Finney Smith stuff matters because Finney Smith is questionable. But like Simmons, Finney Smith questionable, Cam Thomas, Zaire Williams, Watford all out. Like they are still shorthanded, but you probably do need Finney. We probably do need Finney Smith.
We got 23 from Patrick Williams in that blowout loss. But he was good again for a per minute.
We just don't know how many. We just don't know what the minutes can look like because they're getting blown out in every game.
They keep getting blown out, but
they just keep getting blown out.
He's hitting his threes. He's rebounding. Like he's double-digit points in all 3 games.
Yep.
So at some point he's going to get full minutes, and he'll probably give you 30 fantasy points at 4K. I don't mind a dart there. Boucher.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's crazy. All right. Let me ask you this: 4K Boucher or 3,800 Nikola Jovic?
Yeah. Well, again, there's nothing to say that Jovic is going to do this.
No, there's not.
I have him on a couple of best ball teams, so I was happy to get the points there for the day. Yeah. But he could very well just not play again. Where? Is he 3K probably on the slate?
He's a center, yeah.
Center only? Okay, so we'll talk about that then. I can't even commit. If he's coming off the bench, there's literally a single-digit minute floor for him, right?
0 DMP.
You could just straight
donut, just straight donut.
Yeah, there's nothing. You need everybody out to break correctly for him, and then maybe even a scratch from somebody. Yeah. Like Highsmith has to be maybe get ruled out or something like that, right? Like, all right, move over to center then. You play Giannis here. You have Şengün versus the Pelicans, which is a really good spot for him.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
23, 9, and 7 against them the last time out. You take into account what could be missing from their lineup already, and 8,600. Well, dude, price drops on Şengün here, so really, really good spot for him. If you wanted to play Vuk or Bam, you can, but nothing I'm really looking for there.
Yeah, I would probably just rank them Şengün, Bam, Vooch.
Sure.
I just probably rate Bam a little higher than Vooch at this point, especially Jimmy and like just shorthandedness in general of that team. But I think Şengün is like safely ahead of the other two.
Agreed. Hartenstein got here against a matchup against the Pacers. Pretty good spot for him at $7,300.
He's good, dude. He's just really good.
Crazy rebound numbers for him there.
Yeah, he's just really, really good.
I know you've been a Goga guy. Goga's 65. Misi on the other side of that matchup is $5,900. The Miles Turner's between them at 63 against Hartenstein.
Yeah, I really don't have any issues. Miles Turner, oblique issue here.
Yeah, he left that game, but then came back and it went for 45 fantasy points. So.
and now he's questionable, huh? And now he's I guess that's something to monitor, right? Obi Toppin season, Thomas Bryant season.
We've been playing some Obi anyways at his free dollar price tag.
Well, it was free, and then they freaking jacked it up where it's like, all right. And I'm not saying he's been bad. He's still been per minute. He's a great per minute producer. I'm just saying, like, if there's no Miles Turner, dude, every time, I mean, OKC now has Jalen Williams back.
I said the other Jay Williams is
I know I was about to try to get into my bag there and be like, oh, they're gonna run small, but then I was like, oh, they're not. They're gonna just play big because now they have Jay Will. Jay Will is back.
Isn't he an undersized big or is he big?
No, he's a big dude.
He's a big dude.
He's a big boy. He is a space. He does shoot a lot of threes.
Okay, maybe that's
his
like
primary.
Being different.
So yeah.
Again, Goga's been really good. You've called that out plenty of times. He went for 40 fantasy points in this very same matchup, had it 18-13. So kind of just done arguing with you on Goga. You just
dude.
Okay. If he's not playing minutes, you just win that battle. Right? They're so depleted. They don't even have Mo Wagner anymore. Goga.
And they're not, dude. And let's just after this moment of silence. We're not getting Jonathan Isaac minutes. They're just not. So if they're gonna extend Goga, I mean, even if they're not, dude, look at the fantasy points. I mean, he's
if he didn't get ejected in that game, he was only getting like 28 minutes in that game. So
I know, but he went for 30 and 21. Yeah. So if he doeses get ejected, does he still get us 40? He's a rebound and a basket away from a double,
probably another block in there. So yeah, I agree. So I'm done just kind of fighting it. He's fine. Sometimes you just say yes. Misi, again, $5,900, had 40 minutes against Denver and went for 43 fantasy points in that game.
He is like the third. I think I saw a stat. He has the third most offensive rebounds in the NBA this year, which is kind of crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
A rookie who didn't start the year as the starting center.
I think it's Prize Picks now gives you like opportunities to do like defensive rebounds. Like they don't give you like total. They didn't give like total rebound numbers. They now give you like an option to do like defensive or offensive rebounds as a prop to pick.
I think they do give you
so maybe start peeking some Misi like ribs. It's like 2.5 something like that. Like just get in there.
Hey buddy, if he's gonna keep doing that, I mean, yeah.
You called out Valanciunas. He played 29 minutes. He of course went for 10x because nobody knew he was going to play all the if Sar sits and Valanciunas starts, we'll play Valanciunas at 5,500.
First person in our lineup.
By the way,
doesn't matter if he plays 18 minutes. He's first person in our lineup because you can't
not take that shot, right? Like,
dude, he's a 1.5 fantasy point per minute player.
Yeah. So 5,500 would just be the immediate plug, but we're all hoping for Alexander Sar to be in, or at least I am.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Again, Capella, you get the matchup, but I don't know. You've been more on Capella this year than I've been.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in on Capella. I'm also in on Zach Edey in this spot.
Capella's actually been surprisingly elite against the Bulls this year.
He's been good.
21 and 11.
Well, we've talked about, dude. We've talked about this. He plays
2 20-point games against them. Is it the only 2 20-point games all year? Has he had 20 points in any other game this year? Chicago? Nope. Only 2 games this season, he scored 20.
John, they play him against bigger centers, because they've talked about the Okongwu stuff. Now, I don't know. I guess I don't know how that changes when Nance is in the picture, but
sure. Is
yeah,
Nance different than Okongwu? They both stretch the floor a little bit.
I know, but just like physicality wise, like Nance is a very active person. Mark Williams, for what it's worth, is a crazy per minute guy this year so far. Not that we didn't know this. This is Mark Williams in a nutshell.
Could eventually get more minutes too, right? Like they're, work his way up.
I'd assume this is like I assume this is the slowest ramp up of anyone in the league.
The guy misses a full year and a half.
I know it's bad.
Would you play that though? Would you play 5K? 4,900 Mark Williams, knowing he is maxing 20?
I feel like are you taking the same risk? Playing
Valanciunas?
Like playing Capella or Edie or Valanciunas? Those guys obviously have the higher ceilings in minutes.
I think the higher minute ceiling for those guys. But Mark Williams obviously gets on the floor and
just he's crazy.
Yeah. I probably don't get to him, but it's a great
I probably don't either.
For him there. Kellyo plays 25 minutes and goes back down to 18. Just the Kellyo experience. I don't think we can ever get there. Richards played only 13 minutes in that game. So who got the other center minutes?
Diabate. Dude, they're playing 3 of them. They're playing 3 of them. Yeah.
Annoying. Trade one, please. All right, there's where
I'd guess Richards would be the guy gone. That would be my guess.
Maybe,
but
your guess is as good as my guess.
Yeah.
Moby, Mobo.
Okay. So I saw this. I wanted to look at, okay, stay right there. That's exactly what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
We have looked at Jalen Smith all year long and said he is just playing backup center.
They play him at the 4 finally?
I saw it happen. So I don't know.
You saw a UFO? Is that what you're saying?
I saw drones.
Yeah.
That everyone sees that no one knows anything about. I saw UFO.
Those things can project things, make you think you see things that don't exist, right?
And then I saw Jalen Smith and Nikola Vucevic share the floor, John.
Okay.
For a 4-minute stint in the 4th quarter of the last game. And I think it was just like, let's just see what we got here. Let's just see.
They did. They played. They had. Wait, hold on. Where are these minutes? They played.
I mean, they played 20 guys.
No, dude. But this is actually, I think, the more interesting thing. That lineup rotation when those guys were on the floor.
Yep.
Included.
Patrick Williams too. I didn't see this.
Patrick Williams.
Yeah. So he's
they played 3. Did they play Patrick Williams at the 3?
Yeah, had to. So they played
Levine, Ayo at the 1, Levine at the 2,
and then Kobe, and then at the end of that was Kobe.
Yeah,
at the guard.
Ayo, yeah.
So do we have Giddey? I didn't see, but do we have official Giddey news? Is he back? He's questionable, and Desumu's questionable.
Yes.
Yo, we're looking at some extra Jalen Smith run here. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. They have. I wonder
how that would have finished out, because obviously look at how that they all subbed out at the same time, and then Javon Carter
and then garbage time. Yeah, garbage time.
So what would they have played?
Yeah, I'd assume Ayo. If that's a close game, you probably get a couple more out of Jalen Smith, and then you go to Ayo.
Yeah,
that would be my assumption. But Jalen Smith also had 14 actual, and was Jalen Smith, right? Because that's what he does.
Jalen Smith came up as a 4, didn't he? With the Suns,
with the Suns, he played at the 4, and then he went to Indiana, and he played at the 4, and he played at the 5, and then last year was the most annoying year of Jalen Smith's career because half the time it would be Isaiah Jackson, half the time it would be Jalen Smith as a backup 5.
Right, and they just don't have a backup 5 outside of Jalen Smith on this roster,
which is why you assume you just have to keep like there's not going to be like much wiggle room. But I did want to talk about that, and I'm happy that I remembered, because
I mean that is certainly huge for the rotation. I'm trying to see, did Milwaukee have like Portis Lopez together on this spot? So Milwaukee had, obviously they would have. They played
Portis,
Lopez,
Middleton, Brolo, DeLon Wright, AJ Green, basically in that stretch.
Right. So they had Williams on Middleton.
I guess you know what? I guess that makes sense because you have
double big,
and that's just not what Atlanta's going to do. It's dead.
We'll
the dream's dead.
Well, you know what? We've called these things out. Listen, the last time we looked at something like this in depth was the Larry Nance minutes.
Yeah.
We're like, listen, he was out. Nance played all these minutes. We were right. We've put it out there now. Everybody is aware they can make those decisions on their own.
You're right.
If Giddey and IU are ruled out, it is very much on the table, potentially, that at some point in this game, if Patrick Williams is still limited, that they could go a double big rotation, including Jalen Smith and Nick Lewis.
True.
We'll end the commentary there. And I'll just give out Ware shot because, again, 3 straight games now. Again, they've kind of or 2 straight games rather. They've dusted him off.
Yep.
14 and 17 minutes. Getting some early run as well in these games. 20, 23. The stocks have been great. 7 rebounds in both of those games in 14 and 17 minutes. Super serious, obvious risk because he could go back to DNPing.
Yep.
And his ceiling so far has only been 17 minutes. But I'm going to at least put him on your radar that at $3,100, he's starting to get more minutes. This is a Spoelstra team. They could be down more players.
Yep.
And he is their first round pick. So worth the shout. Anything else for you?
No.
Okay. Where do we begin? I guess
where do we begin,
Amen,
John?
Amen at 6.
Amen Thompson. That's a freebie.
We'll plug SAR and then we'll move to Valanciunas, I guess, or plug Valanciunas and then we'll have the $100 for SAR if he's in.
Yeah, we could do that. I like that idea.
All right, point guard. Where were we sitting at point guard? Are we spending up at point guard?
Yeah, one of the two. Play LaMelo or SGA. They're great.
We get spreads on those games? We probably do, right?
Let's see. It is a 3.5 point spread in Charlotte, Washington. 227.5 total. Charlotte giving 3.5 on the road. OKC giving 5, exactly the same number, 227.5. So both games 227.5, both within 5 points.
I kind of think of SGA at that point. Then
I think any close game is SGA max. Any game you can get max minutes for SGA, then it's a game that I'm interested in SGA, especially while the price is just like hovering above, like it's just not rising. But he's gone for 60 in 2 of 3.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Santi or Santi?
Yeah, Santi's fine.
Or Jabari at 58. I mean,
he can play them both. Because Jabari probably needs Eason out, right? Or do you think he's just?
I think he's just safe because they're down Dylan Brooks. So I just think that he's getting plenty of run regardless.
Okay.
I could be. I obviously could be wrong, but
Jabari over Hunter.
Probably.
Okay.
I think Jabari's safer. I think Hunter can score 70. I mean, he can score the basketball better than.
Would you give De Silva a look? I mean, the minutes are obviously.
Yeah, I would.
All right, 6,500 guard util.
6,500 guard util.
So we can probably spend up. I mean, would you rather like take a shot on Poole at 77, look for a cheaper, go Murphy?
I do like Jordan Poole. I do.
Okay, so we did Poole. Be a 53 util, 53 util. Nance, not really a lot down in this range.
Edie.
Yeah, double centering with Edie. Does Edie stay on the floor with Toronto?
Seems like 27 minutes or so is like the where he's gonna sit, 24 to 27. We don't have. Let's not. And we are also playing Aldama. We don't need to do that.
I know we liked Poole. Let's see if we just went a little cheaper. Let's see. Let's see. Duncan Robinson was there. It's kind of a bad price range, right?
Yes.
Without
I'm even
knowing.
going up a little bit, like to see.
Yeah, because then we feel a little more comfortable like spending down a little bit there. If we double spended, it was like DeJounte and a $4,600 util, it'd be. I mean, Hawkins, as you thought, like if there's no Murphy, would be a play.
Duncan would be in play.
It's kind of tough. We kind of hit a little wall with this build here. Again, Jaquez could start. Patrick Williams, I like.
Jovic is good. Trevelin Queen.
I mean, if we did Queen, what is that?
Play him at the guard. Play him at guard.
Yeah,
we're just now playing two Orlando like two Orlando secondary plays. Not that they're all like kind of secondary plays.
It's like Trae Young, like SGA, Thompson, De Silva, Aldama, Valanciunas, or Sarr, depending on who's starting. Queen, Jabari, and Trae with $200 left over. It's dirty. It's not great, but it's
and we have the money from if we need to get up to Sarr.
Yep. Obviously, this is a tournament lineup. I know we've had a lot of requests on the show for cash game lineups.
That's got to be something that we do on the live stream because we don't have ownership night before.
Right. So hard to really know where people are going.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we're obviously, you get a sense from the playbooks kind of where we like. We actually label guys as cash plays or both in the playbook on Fantasy Alarm. So,
John, wait, how do you get the playbook?
Oh yeah, that's a great point. I guess I could just show you. If you are a Fantasy Alarm member, we got our 50% off holiday sale still going on. FantasyAlarm.com/holiday. So 50% off the All Pro monthly subscription. That's $19.98 a month for all of 2025. If you cancel and decide to rejoin, go back to full price. It's $39.97. So why not take advantage of the 50% deal that covers all sports, draft guides, cheat sheets, Discord access, tools, playbook access, betting content, seasonal content, and a lot of other cool things that happen there. If you guys like getting into like best ball drafts during the football and baseball seasons, we run those with our subscribers. So you can get involved in that action as well. So FantasyAlarm.com/holiday, scan the QR code there. Promo code FA Holiday should automatically fill in. You just hit the add promo code button and you'll be good to go. Then you get access to that playbook where we designate players as cash or as both or GPP tournament plays. So, but yeah, we'll do a better job of calling out cash game plays on the live streams for all of you cash game players. But ultimately, we kind of talk dark throws pretty often. So you get an idea of who we like as safe plays and who we think are more tournament-only plays. Again, James and I will be back 5 p.m. Eastern Time, break this all down for you with the latest news and updates along with ownership. Until then, everybody, Merry Christmas again. We'll catch you later.